Union Calendar Number 712, H.R. 6461, a bill to amend Title 49 United States Code to establish in the Transportation Security Administration a national deployment office and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Katko, and the gentlewoman from New Jersey, Ms. Watson Coleman, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New York.
Mr. Speaker, I unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks and include any extraneous materials on the bill under consideration.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of H.R. 6461, the TSA National Deployment Force Act, sponsored by my good friend and the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Transportation and Protective Security, Mrs. Watson Coleman. The TSA security operations happen 365 days per year at nearly 440 federalized airports. Our nation depends on the professionals at TSA who are on the front lines every single day to keep our transportation systems moving and secure. In testimony before the committee, Administrator Pekoski has stated that TSA's greatest assets are its people, and I could not agree more. Transportation security officers are tasked with a zero-fail mission, and their dedication to duty is what helps keep traveling Americans secure when they fly within our civil aviation system. With a strengthening economy, passenger volume has surged over the past few years and expects to go much higher in the years to come, and TSA has often struggled to accommodate massive traveler volume increases at checkpoints. However, one of the most practical and useful and helpful tools in TSA's toolbox, the National Deployment Force, helps TSA alleviate long lines at airport checkpoints, providing both a national security value by minimizing public area security risk and providing efficiency by reducing passenger wait times. This legislation authorizes a National Deployment Force, or NDF, within the TSA to provide rapid and efficient response capabilities. The NDF is comprised of transportation security officers who may be deployed across the country to supplement existing TSA staffing during periods of high seasonal demand, natural disasters, national special security events, or other requiring additional security screening support. Recently, the NDF has provided critical screening support for large-scale events requiring additional security, such as the Super Bowl and in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. Given the anticipated increases in passenger growth, this bipartisan legislation will help ensure that TSA has the resources it needs to quickly respond to influxes in passenger volume at specific airports. I'm proud to co-sponsor this bipartisan legislation with my good friend and colleague from New Jersey to authorize a national deployment force and help make TSA the agile agency the American people expect and deserve. Thank you, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman from New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of H.R. 6461, the TSA National Deployment Force Act, and yield myself as much time as I may consume.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Transportation Security Administration maintains this National Deployment Force, or NDF, a volunteer force made up of the transportation security officers that are deployed to various locations across the country in support of TSA's Homeland Security mission. Today, the TSA administrator is able to deploy this force to respond rapidly to operational challenges at more than 440 airports where TSA conducts security operations. Maintenance of this operational capability would not be possible if TSA did not maintain a robust federalized screening workforce. TSA deploys the NDF to address hiring difficulties, seasonal demand, severe weather conditions, and periods of relief and recovery following a national disaster or other major incident, as well as to support securing national security events, again, such as the Super Bowl and national political conventions. In particular, the NDF was critical to ensuring TSA could continue to operate fully in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy after that storm devastated my region of the country. Notably, TSA has called upon the NDF to fill staffing gaps at airports where private screening companies operating under TSA's screening partnership program are unable to hire enough officers. My bill authorizes the NDF to ensure its work continues and directs TSA to report to Congress on the NDF's activities to ensure proper oversight. Because officers serving on the NDF often go above and beyond, leaving their homes and families on short notice, my bill authorizes TSA to consider service in this force as a positive factor when evaluating applicants for promotions with TSA. The NDF is a critical component of TSA's Homeland Security efforts, and I urge my colleagues to support this measure. With that, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman reserves. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have no other speakers. If the gentlelady from New Jersey has no other speakers, I'm prepared to close once she does.
Gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I have no other speakers. I am ready to close.
The gentlelady from New Jersey is recognized.
Speaker, in recent years, we have seen TSA face a wide array of challenges, including complex threat streams, lengthy wait times, and the need to reopen airports quickly after national disasters. The NDF provides TSA with the operational flexibility it needs to maintain the security of our country's transportation systems in the face of these challenges. I thank my partner on the Transportation Security Subcommittee, Mr. Katko, as well as my other colleagues for their support, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 6461. I agree with the comments of my colleague from New Jersey, and I think that this common sense legislation will give TSA more flexibility and more elasticity in facing the ongoing challenges with staffing issues at airports, especially during peak travel times. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill H.R. 6461? Those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, two-thirds being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider